Charlie Kirk is dead, and he's not resting. The grift machine is doing its job from the left and the right to exploit this man and his memory to make a whole ton of money. Welcome to the Leo Show, everyone. My name is Leo. Please join our lives on at 10 p.m. Tuesday through Friday. Like, comment, and subscribe. Do all the good stuff. But look, today I wanted to continue talking to you guys about Charlie Kirk. As I said yesterday, we're in the American years of lead. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's 1970s Italy. It's an incredibly violent period that is not going to stop. No one gets off this train, man. This train will continue till it gets to its destination. This is hell, all right? We're starting there. We live in hell. And if you accept it, you can at least deal with it, all right? So what's important today after Charlie Kirk has died? I think the most important thing is to look at the distasteful grifts that have been done with his death. The one that comes to mind the most is someone here, I won't even say his name because I find it so disgusting, who is popular on Twitter for rage baiting, a master baiter, just as Charlie Kirk was in life, but this was even more distasteful, an acolyte of Charlie Kirk in a lot of ways, doing a White Lives Matter rally in Miami, Florida, my hometown, which, you know, as a political movement, whatever, you can do your White Lives Matter rally. I just don't see how this is correlated with the death of Charlie Kirk. There's something else that happens in these periods of extreme violence, and you could see this in Italy in the 70s, but also even Venezuela in the 2000s was another time where there is no clarity. There is no fog of war that lifts. No one knows who killed Charlie Kirk yet. No one has any idea who it could be. I mean, we could speculate, and I have my own speculations, but we don't know who it is. So how would this lead to a White Lives Matter rally? Was Charlie Kirk targeted because of his skin color or his race or his political views? We don't know. And I knew that this was going to be some grifty, disgusting thing that people would do. It just in the fact that this, and this is what I meant when I said yesterday, this is a world that Charlie Kirk helped create. Only in a world where Charlie Kirk really pushed things forward would things like this happen. And this isn't just on the right. I just really want to focus in on this White Lives Matter rally because it's particularly gross. They're doing it where every loser in Miami protest, which is Bayfront Park, the torch of friendship, in front of the statues of Simon Bolivar, Juan Ponce de Leon, and the JFK flame. Pretty ironic who they're doing it in front of, right? And this is just sowing further and further division, okay? This is truly disgusting. And, you know, I don't mean this, I don't like to get racial like this, but, you know, the guy who's leading this is some dysgenic freak. Why don't you go to a city that the majority is ethnic American, you know? You can't say that Miami was stolen. It was handed over at best, and people here feel comfortable where they are. And who are you? I mean, dude, there's so many cities. Oh, but are they all not working properly? I have my criticism of Miami, but I've been to San Francisco, I've been to New York. Oh, these traditional ethnic white cities aren't working. Okay, well then you have to be here. Well then do your politics somewhere where it's impactful. I don't see how doing a White Lives Matter rally in honor of Charlie Kirk in Miami has any real effect. No one in Miami is going out and hunting white people. I don't understand where this even comes from. Hispanics don't tend to, especially the Hispanics here, I mean, there were no Zoot Suit riots here or racial animosities towards white people ever. So what are you trying to do here? And this is the problem that came from Charlie Kirk and his acolytes, and that's on the right? But then on the left, you see all of these grifters, all of these wannabe grifters, even worse, these Andy Warhol 15 minutes of fame people posting themselves laughing at this man's death. Look, I had my disagreements with the guy. I don't think that he had a very negative effect on this country and discourse. Not even discourse, just way of conducting and comporting yourself, okay? You did a very bad thing for my generation. But you are mentally ill. What are you posting this for? For likes? For money? Nothing is because what is the counter reaction? It's other people that look at this and they go, oh, you're crazy. Oh, and things just get state of tension, more tension, more tension, more tension, more tension. But unfortunately, this is what I said yesterday. There's no going back. There is no going back. This is it. This is it. And that's why I don't really despair at it. I just am amazed. Every time I see another grift, a White Lives Matter rally in Miami, MSNBC saying that it was probably someone shooting from the crowd in celebration, the New York Times putting out an article, as if the New York Times gave a shit about Charlie Kirk. They fucking hated him. I mean, this is the same as, Comedy Central pulling their Charlie Kirk episode. Trey Parker and Matt Stone have blood on their hands. They contributed just as much as Charlie Kirk did towards the dehumanization of people by making them cartoons. I mean, in a lot of ways, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I've never been a fan of that show. Hey, mocking Saddam Hussein and making him a cartoon kind of let people see him in a different light in America and let people do some pretty negative foreign policy. Those guys have blood on their hands. They do. And Charlie Kirk is one of them too. And I get it. We are all psychically damaged because of people like Charlie Kirk, who has really allowed debate, which is just the debasement of discourse, to be a profound thing in this country, to profoundly seep into the country. And I get it. You didn't like the guy. I didn't like the guy. I never dehumanized the man. I said he was stupid, but I never did that. And this is going to get worse. As I was saying, that's the main thing that I have to tell you. If people, look, what's really bothering me is that there's people like Patrick Bet-David, who I really dislike, who is also a very negative force in this country, very negative force, who's saying we have to turn the temperature down. A lot of people saying we have to turn the temperature down. I would beg you to point to me an example of any country in history that has ever turned the temperature down. That has never, ever, ever happened. It is impossible. You can have regime change, I'm not advocating that, but turning the temperature down, that's never happened. Never happened. Never happened. Go back in history. Please tell me when people have ratcheted things up and then they have turned back down. On The View today, they were saying how this was like the 70s and it's the 70s coming back and they got through the 70s so people can get through it now. And this is just survivorship bias. I mean, these people have contributed. Joy Behar, what's her name? This other dumb woman. Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, all these women, Meghan McCain including, though she's not on that show anymore. They, Whoopi Goldberg, who wouldn't even say Donald Trump's name till today. These people are all part of the same thing. They all hate themselves and they hate society. And I mean, you're programming people, housewives in The View's case, to expect the 1970s, the level of political violence we saw in the 60s and 70s. But we're going to get through it because we did once. Okay, this is the same argument as saying, people came from Italy in the 1900s, and they assimilated, so other people will assimilate. And these arguments are just based on vacuous nonsense. You could be pro-immigration or anti-immigration, but that's just a stupid argument. It's an argument that doesn't make sense. And they will continue to do this because I've noticed that a lot of boomers, they think that this can be reversed, that things will get better. They will not. It is not possible. Things can only get worse from here. And this is not something to despair. This is not something to, look, be happy that it happened. Don't be sad it's over. This was a cool country for a long time. It was an interesting, especially if you're if you're over the age of 30, you should be incredibly happy. You got to see some amazing stuff in this country. Okay, you got to experience the pre-08 economy, you got to see the rise of tech. Dude, I started my adulthood when COVID started. Okay, I got to see some of the country that was cool, but it's been hell ever since. It's been real hell ever since. So, you can't be sad that it's over. This idea that this was meant to last is just, I think it's wrong. And it could have lasted longer, absolutely. But the stewards were all stupid. The stewards were boomers who didn't know what they were doing. I mean, look at this on the base level, this Charlie Kirk stuff. Boomers allowed American universities to scam generations of people, at least two, but 2.5 maybe. Just scam and scam and scam. And they were backstopping these loans and scamming people, not letting them get out of school or discharge these loans or hurt the schools. All while these schools were just fostering tension Whether you're from the left or right, it doesn't matter, guys. These schools were stealing from you and distracting you by bringing in political debaters, master baiters into the campus to have you, what, distracted while they pick your pocket? And the boomers stood by and allowed this the whole time. These stewards were the worst ones we've ever had. The worst stewards, and you can't even be mad at them. Someone was going to do this. It would have been cool if it wasn't them, if we had had at least 2 more generations, but that's selfish. You know, the country's on, it's not on the same trajectory as it was before. It's not. And the death of Charlie Kirk, people say there's going to be violence, retribution. I sincerely doubt it. I think that we may get other events, but people are trying to get people fired over Charlie Kirk social media posts, okay? This is a country with low energy. It's a country where these kinds of events are unique. It's not 1968. It's not the 1970s. There is no weather underground. But sporadic blankist violence, as Lenin would call it, is to be expected. And not all of it well planned out, and it might get really bad. But this is where you, the viewer, have to put on your thinking cap, your serious hat, and you need to be smart, and you need to realize that you need to take care of your own life, okay? I never encourage people to go to these political events because I think that it's a bad idea. I know people personally who have been hurt for their political views on the left and right, and I don't recommend you do this. I think it's a very bad idea. I'm not blaming Charlie Kirk or anyone for what has happened. Not a victim blamer. But in the years of lead in Italy, man, you wanted to be very careful about where you were, okay? You did not want to get caught up in something stupid. And in this period, the reason I bring that up, in this period of elevated tension, where they're doing a White Lives Matter rally in Miami, don't go to that. Don't be stupid, man. Don't post a video on TikTok of you celebrating the death of someone. Don't do this kind of stuff, man. Don't go into a crowd of people mourning on a mini bike and then get beat up, as happened yesterday. Okay? Don't do that. That's stupid. There is no benefit to you. There is no benefit to you. Am I advocating apathy? Yeah, in a lot of ways I am, because unless you're really willing to throw down, which no one is, and I don't advocate, you know, and what's the point? So everyone's got to grow up, man. And these grifters, again, this is what I was saying yesterday, this free speech stuff. If you're advocating a White Lives Matter rally, this ugly, dysgenic freak, or if you're grifting off his death by saying, oh, I love this is so cool, laughing at it, you deserve to have your free speech taken away. You deserve to have it taken away. You are only contributing to more violence and more low IQ rhetoric in the conversation, if there even is one at all. Debate doesn't matter anymore. Debate's never mattered, but it really doesn't matter after Charlie Kirk. This was the symbolic end of debate. But I have to say that if the alternative to this fake debate is shows of power that are blankist, anarchist crap in nature, then we're going to miss Charlie Kirk a lot, because this crap, Americans love to flirt with this kind of stuff. It's not, you're not that guy, man. You don't want this to happen. You don't want this to happen. Not saying what the solution is. There is no solution. You're not getting off this train, man. This train doesn't stop. So just please take care of yourself as a viewer, all right? Rest in peace, sincerely, to Charlie Kirk. From me. I haven't been grifting off your death like other people have. If I had, I'd expect someone to say something like this about me, okay? Rest in peace, man. Poor guy. Was a negative for society, but didn't deserve what happened to him. As I said. And, you know, his poor family. But with that, you know, there's not really much left to say. I mean, let's hope, that's the last thing I'll end with, where I hope that the Americans have come to expect no results from investigations. After President Trump was shot, we don't know anything about that, and people are fine with that. At least give me some good fiction. How has the guy not been caught yet? And that just can only make me suspicious that the motives are just to drive everyone nuts, because everyone is being driven nuts. This country is a schizophrenic country. With that, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Please join our lives at 10 p.m. I appreciate that. What do you guys think? You guys think that setting up a White Lives Matter rally after Charlie Kirk died is a good idea? Or making a TikTok where you're making fun of the man? Well, his body is cold. But you think that's a good idea? You think it's a good look for you? You think it's a good look for you think it makes you look like a normal human being? You think that's a good idea? I don't know. You let me know. You let me know. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.